Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. It's time once again to explore an official Xbox Magazine demo disc. This time we're looking at disc number 9 from August 2002. The last disc had an insane amount of content, and this one has slightly less, but that doesn't mean there isn't exciting stuff here. Today we'll go through every element of this disc piece by piece, and we'll take a trip back to August 2002 and see what was going on in gaming at the time. All footage was captured on an original Xbox, and I want to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. And let's go ahead and get into this disc. First up is the features section, and the first trailer here is for Bruce Lee Quest of the Dragon, the Xbox exclusive beat-em-up game tied to the late great Bruce Lee. This game was released the month before this disc and got pretty abysmal reviews. It's a bit sad, not because the game is good, but because Microsoft had an exclusive deal to make Bruce Lee games, and that fell through after the critical reception. This trailer does a good job of making it look like a classic kung fu flick trailer, and it does a good job of hiding the jerkiness of the gameplay behind the fast editing.
Any person who attains complete mastery reveals their presence of mind in every action.
You are the champion of this monastery and of those who cannot fight. Our future lies in your hands.
My father and me.
You must recover the relic before it falls into their hands.
They've stolen the relic and abducted your father.
Father!
All is fair in love and war.
Welcome back, Lee.
This game has not yet been rated.
Next up, we have a developer commentary for Halo. This one covers the cinematics and more minor details of the game. I think there's some good insight into small details and ways the cinematics are played through player movement instead of cutscenes. I do find this one a little annoying because there's a lot of talking over each other, but I think overall there's still a lot of good stuff to pull out of this one.
I'm one of the monks. I also write the music for Halo and work on the sound design. I'm Marty O'Donnell, and this is my little friend.
Bigger than you think, O'Donnell. Joseph Staten, I do all the cinematics and otherwise pester Marty.
Yeah, all the time. But we have to work together as a team because what is visuals without audio?
That's true. Good point. And this is an excellent example of just that,
right,
that relationship,
This
Marty.
opening, somewhat cutscene, but you still have control of the camera, but action is still happening on the screen.
Hey, this actually happens a lot in the first level, which is what we're seeing now. The player is actually taking camera control away from me,
right,
which makes me nervous. But at the
right.
same time, sets up really cool cinematic moments that we've just essentially set up different things that are going to happen in the environment, be they explosions that trigger when you run by them, or guys that run up to you and have something important to say, little in-level cinematic moments.
Every piece
that
of
are very
shrapnel
cool.
has its own metallic hit sound when it hits, and you know where it's hitting because you have surround sound on, everybody, right?
Don't badger them, Marty.
Oh,
if they
well,
have
sorry.
the system, they'll use it.
It's a good system.
But really, this whole first part of the game, when you're on your ship, the Pillar of Autumn, this big, massive, kilometer-long cruiser, you are essentially being boarded by the aliens, and we really wanted to give the player in real time that feeling of panic terror as the aliens tear through your ship.
And there's Mendoza.
Mendoza, actually, the Marines each have unique personalities and names.
And look at that throw. That's a great grenade throw.
Great moment. So every time you meet a new Marine, he's going to, maybe have something interesting to say, but he's going to have a unique voice, and that voice will stay with him throughout his lifetime.
Which is brief.
If you're trying to protect them.
Oh.
And this is a part of an insertion cinematic, what we call the cinematic moments at the beginning of a level, where we introduce the level to the player, show them the environment they're going to fight in, maybe show them a preview of the enemies they're going to face, that sort of thing.
And hear the ambient background of the birds and the wind and the Covenant dropship coming from far away, and the music swelling as you see the sun.
And this is actually a pretty challenging
Of course,
environment.
you're not hearing that at this moment. You're hearing us.
Right, sure.
But, okay, just pretend.
But a pretty challenging environment to actually try to create cinematics for and add sounds to, just because it is so big and imposing.
And a giant waterfall over to your right, which is echoing off the cliffs. And it really, truly is echoing, because we have environmental modeling, digital signal processing chip on the Xbox, which we can set to all sorts of environmental models. Like, this is a huge room with a really big echo. And this is the Arnold Schwarzenegger shot.
I don't know why you refer to that as the Schwarzenegger shot.
Don't you
when
remember
it's
that movie?
clearly a sort of Godard. Anyways, that's another insertion cinematic, again, showing the player who they're going to fight, where they're going to fight them.
Yep.
And if you're quick enough on this level, you can actually steal one of the Banshees, this alien flying vehicle, from the aliens before they're able to get into it.
And to show you how big it is, I think if you were to get in this Banshee and just fly straight across to the other side, it still takes you like 20 seconds.
It's a really big
And every one of
space.
those little plasma hits, when it hits the wall, has its own little unique burning sound. Which
Actually-
was partially my mouth noise, by the way, for those of you who didn't know that.
That's gross, dude.
Yeah, okay.
But
Mouth
I mean,
noises are good for games, trust me. Because you know
they're
what, everybody
good for
out there...
something else
Hey,
too.
hey!
Edit that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we? Look at those hooves that these guys have. Those creatures are great. You know, whenever you kill one of those creatures, you should definitely get up close and just look at it for a while, because it's unbelievable what it looks like.
Actually, we don't really spend a lot of time luxuriating on and actually showing you the aliens in the cinematics,
Right.
which is too bad, because every little piece of them has a sound when it clanks. This hunter's armor, his shield, for
Right.
example.
Even when he's breathing, he makes sounds, and it's tied directly to the way his idle animations work, and then his action animations.
My favorite sound I think I've heard that you've created so far, Marty, though, is when you sneak up behind one of these hunters
Yeah.
and you melee attack them in the game,
Yeah.
and then, I'm not going to spoil it, but you just got to listen to the sound they make when they die, when they fall forward and die.
Gabonk.
It's good stuff. Think watermelon
Yeah,
wrapped
there
up
you
in
go.
a big thing of
With a
tinfoil.
Right, baseball
Hitting
bat.
the ground.
Yeah. So this is good here. You got the sniper rifle. You get in close.
Hey,
Does this
Marty,
remind you of
does
anything?
Does this look familiar, Marty? Oh,
Yeah, but I was on that other end.
Oh wait, if that didn't look familiar, does this look familiar?
No.
Oh, Martin!
What? Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That should remind you of every single time you ever faced me in multiplayer, muchacho.
I know. But that's because I actually spend my time working rather than playing till I get good.
Hey, if you listen really close, I think you can hear the ice creaking.
Yeah, and the snowflakes actually hitting the ice.
Uh-huh.
Every detail is in this game.
And the cool thing about, well, I mean, this is just cool, right?
This is totally cool.
I'm sort of mesmerized by it. Take that, dang!
Yeah.
And actually, the first
And the
time I saw
ghosts
this, the
coming
ghosts
out, that
actually
is
coming
so
out
cool.
of the thing. That's great.
The physics are really fun to work with, so when we actually attach sounds and they work with the actual physics of the environment, that means the sounds do things that we weren't even planning on them to do once you start working with them in the environment. So as the hovercraft gets nearer and further away and bounces, the sound actually responds. And crash, there you go. Sound of metal crashing into metal.
What you're saying, Marty, is it's all about putting the puzzle pieces into place and then just letting the player go.
Letting Jason Jones make it happen.
There you go.
He's the man.
There you go.
See, I know who's the kiss. Oh, sorry. And there's the tank that looks broken, but it's not. See, because he starts it up. And working on engine sounds for these things is also a blast, because the engines, you can tell exactly what's coming at you from behind. Something's coming at you from behind. You can tell some little creature walking up to you, or some huge tank driving up to you. You don't even have to see it.
A lot of the time in Halo, when you're going through these big environments, we are built in moments of transition. This, though we haven't created the cinematic for it yet, is going to be one of those situations where you come into a new environment that's huge and massive, and you want to show it in third person and figuring out a way to pull back and say, hey,
This is how big.
this is how big and cool it is.
Kaboom!
Next, we have a first look at Quantum Redshift, and I'm unsure why it's called Part 5 because this is the first time we've seen it on one of these discs. Quantum Redshift is an Xbox exclusive racing game with a similar feel to Wipeout. This is a small preview before it's released in September of that year. It is short and sweet, but does show off what makes the game unique, and it was nice to see in 2002 a different type of arcadey racer on the Xbox. Next up, we have the making of Hunter the Reckoning, a game that has popped up a ton on these OXM discs. This feature says making of, but it's more of a deep dive into the game, detailing some of its co-op and how each character works. It's a fun breakdown of its different elements, and I love seeing the little bit we get to see of behind the scenes footage of the game being developed on those classic computers. I'm always interested in seeing how they developed these games, and I would have loved to have seen more of that content, but this is fun for what it is.
This summer, the world of darkness will come alive as Interplay Entertainment and High Voltage bring White Wolf's popular pen and paper game, Hunter the Reckoning, to the console world. With incredible graphics and outstanding multiplayer action, Hunter the Reckoning will be the hottest Xbox title of the year. And now, for the first time ever, you will enter into this mysterious world, watch never-before-seen footage, and hear directly from the creators of the game. Welcome to Hunter Underground.
Hunter is a fast-paced action game that takes place in White Wolf's world of darkness. It's really a throwback game. Reminds me a lot of the old Gauntlet series, Smash TV. In our game, you're playing up to one to four players on a shared screen cooperatively. So there's no deathmatch or anything. You're all playing together to achieve a common goal. And to me, that's what the best part of the game is. We haven't had any cooperative console games in a long time. And it's just cool to see that old school game come back, and it's gonna rock the house.
This is the perfect game just for non-stop action. You sit down, you pick it up right away. It's a blast to play. There's stuff coming at you from every side. There's all kinds of weapons to pick up. The explosions are great, the visuals are great. It all works together just perfectly.
Hunter has 4 characters, 2 male, 2 female. The one you've seen the most of is most likely Deuce, 7-foot-tall biker, carries his axe and his rifle. He's an Avenger. Then we have Father Esteban Cortez. He was the prison chaplain at the town where this takes place. He is very magically inclined, likes to use his edges. We have Cassandra Cheon, who's the real quick character, almost like the elf in Gauntlet. She's a martial artist, carries 2 guns, 2 knives, and just goes headfirst into the action. And we have Samantha Alexander, ex-cop, very balanced character, great accuracy, real good with her sword, and the healer of the group.
Hunter has a lot of different monster variations. The basic monster in the game are the zombies, and they're just sort of the fodder for the hunters, just something to hack through. So we have creatures who are anywhere from human beings with a slight disfiguration to some huge things known as war ghouls that are just basically a big conglomeration of different human beings formed into one big giant fighting machine.
There's about 30 separate levels that you have to go through from beginning to end to get whole game. Our levels are, they start in the streets of the city and you get taken into in the depths of the prison, you go into the morgue, you go into these different cell blocks. So you get to see a wide range of levels and you get to see all the cool stuff the artist did.
I really like the streets level. There are a ton of zombies all coming at you at the same time, and you basically have to just try to fight them all off. It's sort of like one of those old movies, like Night of the Living Dead or something like that.
The graphic elements of Hunter, The Reckoning, to me, are some of the best I've seen on the Xbox. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of independent eyes have said the same thing. That was obviously the decision we made early on to really go after Xbox and really make this an Xbox game. And you see that. I mean, the idea that when you zoom in a little bit, you can really catch the details on some of these horrific-looking creatures.
I think most people, hardcore gamers buying the game, would be very happy with it. It's a lot of fun. It's something new and totally unique to the Xbox.
If you're a gamer who likes fast-paced, lots of action, beautiful graphics, deep story, great license, Hunter's the game for you. Guaranteed you'll have a ball.
Here we have an interesting little video for the Pyramid of Destruction. It's a compilation of people getting into pyramid structures in Halo and blowing up everything. We've seen it in the plays of the months of the past, but here we get a full feature on it. Those guys at OXM sure loved their Halo tricks, and this one is a short but fun little relic.
Killing spree. Running riot.
You can't have OXM without the top 10 plays of the month. This one is a nice little segment because we are not seeing the same few games that have been repeated over and over. We actually get some different things like FIFA and Burnout here. It's nothing crazy, but it's a fun look at what was popular in the summer of 2002. Yet again, the Dead or Alive 3 bonus costume pack is included here for the third disc in a row. You get some great DLC costumes here, so I get why it was included on multiple of these, so people could get a hold of them if they were new subscribers. I already went over all of the contents of this 2 discs ago, so check out that video if you want a full breakdown. Next, we have an all-new section of the disc where it shows some footage and plays some music of the game, while the bottom half of the review portion of the Xbox Magazine review flashes on the bottom. It's a quick way to see the game that's getting reviewed and also seeing how it got reviewed. I love the details noted on the corner of these, like how Blood Omen is locked at 60 frames per second, or how some games have HD TV support. It's informative and even has a website link. I'll show each of these and read the review portion for you. Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex got a 7.1 out of 10. Graphics. Nice Xbox effects added to an already crisp, clean Crash outing with smooth, streamlined results. Immersion. All the right elements are present with seamless cinemas and quirky voice tracks, but is this still compelling? Sound. The boinks, bonks, and barks are present and accounted for with goofy soundtracks still in tow. Design. Pretty much what you'd expect from Crash with all the trimmings and some new features, absolutely by the book. Good. Do we spy some nicely added bump mapping? Crash fans need look no further. Smooth transition in controls and design to Xbox. Bad. Nothing unexpected, completely predictable. A tad bit slow in responsiveness on controller, and when is Crash's gameplay going to evolve? Perplexing. Is this the same Traveler's Tales of Sonic R fame? Jet Set Radio Future got a 9.2 out of 10. Graphics. Greatly improved cel-shaded antics flesh out a bigger, more massive world than the original. Immersion. A living world full of wacky characters and even wackier politics pull you straight in for the long run. Sound. Soundtrack, though sometimes repetitive, maintains the quirky street-smart attitude throughout. Design. Amazingly designed levels, optimal for tricks and grinds with a simple, straightforward gameplay structure. Good. Environments are absolutely massive and wonderfully detailed. A heavy emphasis on exploration is welcome, indefinite amount of replay value with secrets and other goodies. Bad. Lack of tension found in the original, flag battles bane of universal existence, camera could use some work. Perplexing. Why can't Rokaku Goji simply chill out and go with the flow? Legacy of Kain: Blood Omen 2 got an 8.5 out of 10. Graphics. Amazingly detailed with sharp textures, great shadow and lighting effects, and a high resolution look. Immersion. Controls are tight with no pesky third-person camera problems. Sound. Dolby Digital helps surround you with ambient noise, but there doesn't seem to be a huge variety of effects. Design. Standard third-person action fare here, but the switch and box puzzles are balanced by plenty of killing. Good. Super sweet, mist-enhanced stealth kills. Good variety of combat animations, plenty of action and atmosphere. Bad. Two-dimensional plot. Can we get beyond box puzzles in 2002? Perplexing. Why does Kain talk like the Submariner? Max Payne got an 8.8 out of 10. Graphics. Superb high-res textures and excellent lighting, but no reflections and blocky character models. Immersion. The graphic novel style of the game is great, but the writing is super craptacular. Sound. The weapon sounds are nice and the score is energizing, but the voice acting is amateurish. Design. It's simple, turn corner, go into slow-mo, kill bad guys, sounds repetitive until you've played it. Good. Excellent graphics. Non-stop action-o-rama. Bullet time is a blast. Bad. The writing is horrible. Gameplay ain't that deep. Bad voice acting. Perplexing. What's up with Max's constipated expression? Rally Sport Challenge got an 8.6 out of 10. Graphics. Picture postcard perfect, from its reflective and luminescent ice patches to its detailed car renders and stunning background vistas, RSC delivers a visual feast. Immersion. The game's convincing off-road vehicle dynamics and ever-changing weather effects will quickly make you forget you're sitting in a warm, dry living room. Sound. The fender benders are overly embellished, but the engine noises and co-drivers' comments are very well done, and custom soundtracks are the only way for racing games. Design. A lack of any significant gameplay depth may force you to replay the same tracks and championships ad infinitum in order to unlock new stuff. This gets old quickly despite the pleasant balance of racing types. Good. Stunning graphics. Excellent rally car physics. well-rounded selection of racing disciplines, bad. Limited gameplay depth, punishing degree of difficulty at the higher skill level, perplexing. The smaller 300 horsepower vehicles that you begin with are considerably more fun to drive than the powerful beasts that come later. First demo of the bunch is Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller. The Sega exclusive franchise is now hopping over to Xbox and PC, and I think this is a solid game that I've fully reviewed on the channel. I believe the new Vegas-styled map called Glitter Oasis is the worst map of the bunch, but that's on the regular version. Funny enough, there is still pop-in in this version of the demo, but my time with this version of Glitter Oasis had 0 slowdown, so this is the all-around better version of that map. You only get to go on the map for 3 minutes, and that's it. It's a very small demo, but it's Crazy Taxi. It's meant to be a short, replayed game, and it works to show off what this game is all about. Next is a demo for Hunter the Reckoning, in which we get the first 3 levels. It's been a long time since I replayed this game, so it felt fresh to return to this one. It's a horror-themed twin-stick shooter that feels great to play. You get to choose between every character and go around and kill tons of zombies. They've been hyping this one up so much on these OXM discs, and it's nice to finally play it. It looks especially excellent on the Xbox with great colors and effects. The controls feel spot on. I think this is an excellent intro to the game, and it brought back some good memories for me and reminded me why this one is a solid game. Next, we have Outlaw Golf, which offers 2 characters and 2 holes to play on. You can get through this demo extremely fast, but it's golf. You get the gist of what it's going for extremely fast. It even throws in a fighting minigame for you to try. The humor in this feels very much of its time, but it's a simple and fun golf game. It's precisely what you'd expect, but just throw in some vulgar interactions. Since we didn't have links yet, Outlaw Golf was a solid golf choice on the console. Even if I was having a horrible time with this one, for whatever reason I could not get the controls down on this one at all, but I'm sure I could have gotten it down with enough practice on these 2 holes.
There you go. Fifth shot and still not on the green. Oh, that can't be helpful.
The final demo on today's disc is Street Hoops. It's a street basketball game, and we have been getting features on these discs for a little while for this one. This is a basketball game with a little more style and no professional teams. It's all about the streets, and this was my first time playing this one, and it feels fine. I was getting absolutely destroyed on the court, but I could tell this was a fun little basketball game. I didn't get to see too much of the game, and you only get to play 1 half, but it works for a short little play session.
That's all we got today, y'all. Set free signing off. Street hoops.
And that is it for this Xbox demo disc. There was a little less features than usual, especially not as many trailers, but I think overall there's some fun stuff here. If you enjoyed it, leave a like as it helps out my channel, subscribe to keep up with the retro Xbox content, and I want to give a shout out to my YouTube channel members, campers, and camp counselors. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.